At the edge of an international border, at the edge of the Pacific, at the edge of innovation, community, education, and discovery, you're listening to At the Edge of It All, a University of San Diego podcast where USD experts speak on topics and stories that impact you and the broader community.
Well, hello. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lisette Martinez.
And I'm Elena Gomez. And with us today, we have Perla Myers. She is the Executive Director of the Jacobs Institute for Innovation and Education at the University of San Diego. Perla, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we forgot one very important title. I like to call her Superwoman because she really is everything for us at the University of San Diego and in the community in general here in San Diego. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
And mentor to so many students in the STEAM world. Tell us a little bit about what got you interested in STEAM, in STEM, in math, and also connecting kids with that.
And what the difference is between STEM and STEAM, because I feel like, you know, for some folks, it could be a bit confusing. It was for me at the beginning.
STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And STEAM adds the arts, and the way my colleagues and I see it is the liberal arts in general. So STEM by itself is not as powerful as when we add other arts, the creativity, the wonderful writing, speaking, communication, all the things that make that STEM work we do possible for the community.
So tell us, Perla, first of all, give us a glimpse into your background. Who are you? How did you get started in this business?
When I was a little girl, my parents played a lot of games with us, and I feel like that really got me excited about the sciences. So, for example, we would stop the car if there was a palindrome on the odometer, and my mom would celebrate it. And so science and technology, mathematics is something to be celebrated. And I believe that everyone should have that opportunity. All families already are doing science, and all families are already involved in mathematics, and they do within their own home activities that are already science. They're scientists already. So I love for them to have the opportunity to see themselves and have an outlet to show that they already are engaging in these activities and to open up the opportunities for the future.
That love for it, right? And something that you just mentioned is very important. I feel like your parents had an intentional approach, right? To like showing you the love of STEAM, math, science. I feel even with my own children, sometimes and I've told you this before, Perla, that we get into these cycles where my daughter will say, "Oh, I'm just not good at math." Or, "Oh, but math is not for me," even at a very young age. And I know that with your work, you are intentionally, along with your colleagues, trying to change that perspective in kids, right?
Yes, I think there are many misconceptions regarding the mathematics, for example,
and who does
science
math, right?
And who does mathematics. I feel like people think that in order to do mathematics, you have to be fast. You have to be a certain kind of person. You have to come from a certain community.
Correct.
And so the first thing my colleagues and I want to do is dispel those misconceptions. We want people to realize that, no, you do not have to be fast to be a mathematician. There are many mathematicians who take a very long time to solve a problem, and the reason is that they are engaging in deep thinking. They want to understand what's going on because, for example, mathematics should always make sense. And if somebody's engaging and taking a long time, it's because they might be thinking about it deeply.
And something that you and your colleagues mention all the time that I've heard you say to children time and time again is that productive struggle, right? That all of us, I think, as humans have to learn to do in whatever realm of work that we're in, but especially children, learning that struggling to learn is part of the learning process too.
Yes, I feel like we think that if something is easy, then it is fun, and then we're good at it. But we have to realize that these things are hard. There is thinking and depth and beauty and profoundness in these areas that we have to explore further. And so in order to do it, we have to engage in productive struggle, which also helps the brain create neural connections that will then make it easier to engage in these things.
Right. And one way you're trying to cultivate that is you and some of your colleagues started a STEAM Academy in 2015 where you are looking to sort of create educational equity in STEAM. So as you say, students can see themselves as scientists or mathematicians. What has that journey been like for you and your colleagues through that process? And are you seeing those sort of connections with students where they're saying, oh, actually, after this week here, I'm actually not too bad at science? Or what's this journey been like for you over the last couple of years?
It's been wonderful. First of all, I love collaborating with my colleagues. It's fantastic because we get our ideas really coalesce and we are able to create together. And the STEAM Academy was born in 2015, and it's been going for several years. We bring in children from the community with a focus of bringing students who may not have another opportunity to have a summer experience. And we engage them in all kinds of activities from engineering, design process, to mathematics, to paper folding, to theater and art and leadership development through physical activity, chemistry, biology, and we engage them. It's a very, very busy time that they are here with us, and the goal is for them to dip their enjoy several different things and see what they enjoy, what they resonate with, and see themselves as STEM individuals, see themselves as creative, as capable. We want them to engage in productive struggle, and we use that language to refer to what they are doing. And in the beginning, they sort of stay away from making mistakes and all that. And then after a while, we hear them say, oh, I am productively struggling. And
that is one of the favorite
my
words
new phrase,
in our household now. Absolutely. And something super interesting that you guys had been doing at some point too is incorporating the world of work, right? Because I thought it was so fascinating when I first saw you guys doing it, teaching a lot of the kids that were in these camps, not only everything you just talked about, but how then all of that translates into work, into certain industries. I remember one young girl telling me, oh, I wanted to be a fashion designer, so I never really thought about STEAM or STEM or how, that's none of that. But since I've been at this camp, I realize all that goes into being a designer. There's so many aspects of STEAM that go into designing, and it completely had changed her mind. She's like, wow, this is really a STEAM career. So I think that's really important, right? For kids to visualize themselves in certain careers based on these disciplines.
Yes, our focus is on STEM and STEAM as a basis for changing the world. We base the work the students do on the United Nations Goals for Sustainable Development because STEM and STEAM are for doing something with it.
Right.
And so you can be a designer and know about STEAM and be engaged in the mathematical thinking, in the scientific discovery process. So it really applies to all our lives, regardless of what area we tend to go into. So we want the students to see themselves as STEM,
superstars.
Yes, superstars. Yes, as STEAM superstars, regardless of the area they want to go into. And so the world of work opens up the ideas that they can engage in any area they love and still be STEM superstars.
Right.
Are you seeing that a lot of the students from your camp are now maybe majoring in science or biology or something like this? Are you seeing that happening, or this is making an impact?
We hear all the time that students get to their college or high school, and they get something that makes them feel like they can't continue, and then they remember, there's the productive struggle. I can do this. I can be I can do the area that I would like to pursue. And so I think it helps them. So yes, we see a lot of students who do continue in STEM, and the wonderful thing is they also come back and they become pod leaders for the younger students, and they look forward to that time. Even the little ones, the middle schoolers, say, I want to someday be a pod leader.
That's fantastic work. And so I want to get to another aspect of your career as well, because you are now the executive director of the Jacobs Institute for Innovation in Education at the School of Education here at USD. But most importantly, this institute, is there to talk about and prepare the future educators, right? About how they will be teaching later, years from now, right? The future of education, the innovation in education. Tell me about that. That is fascinating to me.
I'm really excited to have taken on this role. The Institute focuses on research, development, and professional development of teachers. And so we are engaging in many different projects all over San Diego and all over the country, and even some around the world. And so we have, for example, the Global Challenge, which is based on a software package that anybody around the country can engage in and explore the United Nations Goals for Sustainable Development and come up through the engineering design process with solutions to advance those goals, such as poverty and hunger and equity. And so there is that. We also have some projects that are National Science Foundation funded grants that the latest one will create Minecraft's virtual environment for Latinx communities to play sort of in a Latinx inspired world.
Wow.
So we'll have scientists who will speak to them in Spanish, Latinx scientists, and the environment will have Spanish and English and Latinx inspired objects.
Right. That's really exciting. And it's all about representation, right, in education. I think that is one of the biggest goals for this institute, right, that people can see themselves.
Absolutely, yes. I guess we definitely want everyone to see themselves as capable of doing whatever they would like to do, and seeing representation matters. And so seeing a scientist that is a Hispanic woman and having a conversation with that scientist within the Minecraft environment, we're hoping will engage and inspire some students who may not have seen themselves in that way.
And that's what I love about you, Perla, is that you always think of so many creative ways to bring the students in. Like, it's sort of like you speak their language. You're like the child whisperer of STEM.
Yes. So sweet.
And virtual reality is sort of what kids are doing now, right? I mean, kind of tying that in.
Absolutely. I want to also ask you a more personal question. Why are you so passionate about this? Because anybody that comes across you just knows, Perla Myers, one word is passion, right? You're so dedicated to what you do for children and to level the playing field in education and in STEM and STEAM. Why do you have so much passion? What do you get out of it? Because I know you get a lot of joy, but why? It's fascinating to work with you. Anybody who has ever worked alongside you.
You are very kind. I love seeing. I especially love engaging with people who think they're not yet. I mean, amazing people who haven't yet realized that they're good at, for example, mathematics, or that they can do something beyond what they have been exposed to. So I think it's really cool to explore an area with with somebody, with a person, and have them realize, have them get that aha moment that is so exciting.
Right. And I've seen your face totally light up when you see those aha moments. And I think it's really important what you just said, that you sort of walk the journey with them, right? Like, you believe in them sometimes more than they believe in themselves. And we all need a Perla Myers
A little
in
coach,
our lives.
coach cheering us on.
Absolutely. Are there any, before we wrap up, advice that you would give parents? Because, I think education and navigating the education system can be so difficult sometimes, especially right now. I don't want to say that we've been through COVID, because, it's still pretty prevalent in our community, but the struggles of online learning for the last 2 years were real for a lot of families, right? And so do you have any advice that you want to give to parents and children who may be struggling right now and who may think that they don't have what it takes, or that school is just really difficult, they're not even thinking about the STEMs, they're just trying to get through? What would you have to say?
I have a few things to share. First of all, I love also what I do learn from the children, and so I feel that we all have something to contribute. And so realizing that when we come to a table, we are also bringing our own assets, and
Right.
and so knowing that, and knowing that you are contributing something to the conversation,
Correct.
to the world, and that what you contribute is really important. And so knowing that you're bringing something wonderful. I feel that parents should become really educated in the system, in what the system the system sometimes has certain barriers to allow students to achieve. For example, they might be tracked even when they are very young. So knowing what the system is like, and who is it who is going to make it to the next stage. What do you have to take in elementary school to be able to get the classes you need in middle school, to get the classes you need in high school? So knowing the system and advocating for their children, advocating for themselves. So that's really important.
Right.
Knowing that everyone is capable of achieving at a high level, and knowing that things can be understood. So if someone tells you that mathematics is about memorizing rules and regulations and memorizing a whole bunch of things, that is not the only thing in mathematics. Mathematics is about understanding deeply. And mathematics could be, everything in mathematics could be understood. So asking lots and lots and lots and lots of questions and being curious about the world, and getting support where needed,
Right.
asking the questions, getting there is support for all kinds of things out there, finding it and taking advantage of it, and engaging in productive struggle as much as possible. So putting themselves and their students in situations that allow them to grow,
To challenge themselves.
to challenge
productive struggle as a
themselves.
family,
Yes.
right?
Engaging in
fantastic.
productive struggle as a family, having fun. So have fun with STEM and STEAM. I think one of the most wonderful things is to see families working together on STEAM challenges.
Right.
It's really fun to watch how much the families also enjoy it. So don't be afraid to go to museums, play with the ideas, ask lots of questions.
I think
fun.
the word of the podcast today is curiosity. Have curiosity, ask questions, wonder about things,
Yes.
and instill that in our children to ask questions and not have all the answers all the time. And it's okay to do that.
Be ready to fail. Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you, Perla, for joining us. This was great advice to end with. And if you were interested in this podcast, be sure to subscribe to our next one to catch that.